what's up YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video game review. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Kirby Star Allies. I think I'm saying that correctly. Allies for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm going to be quite frankly honest with you. I'm not really the hugest Kirby fan at all. I mean, my only time I ever really got to experience a Kirby game was probably when it was available on the Virtual Console for the 3DS, though. I know, I say what you want, because for as young as I can remember, my focus was just Mario only, so I never really got to experience other Nintendo franchises until a little bit later in my life. So when they announced that a Kirby game was coming to the Nintendo Switch, I decided to give this one a go. And after playing with it for the last couple of days, I will say that while I'm not the hugest Kirby fan though, I will say the game is fun with some minor flaws to it. So why don't we get started with our pros and cons? Let me get out my notes. And we'll start off first with the pro. And the first one I will say is the visuals. The game looks beautiful, even though it's in a 2D type. It's a 2D game with a 3D background and so on. The art style looks nice though. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, in some ways, a little bit kind of like, you know, the Yarn Yoshi games though. Although Yarn Yoshi had a little bit more details into it though. But it definitely looks, visually speaking, it looks nice though. So from the graphics though, it looks really good for a Kirby game though. The next thing I want to talk about is the gameplay. And like I said, I haven't played a whole lot of Kirby games though, but I sort of get the idea of it. And basically it has that classic 2D Kirby. You know, you have the whole he inhales enemies, he'll get their powers and all, and they also add some new stuff as well as the whole friends thing where you can have up to 4 AI partners that can control that surprisingly are very good. I mean, they'll respond to enemies and attack them. They'll solve certain puzzles if you have the right one there, and they'll even heal you or heal others if they pick up a health item, and same thing goes with you. So it follows a classic 2D gameplay, and I will say if you're playing as a single player, the AI is pretty good. It's pretty good in the game though. And last but not least, it is worth pointing out that the game is a 4-player co-op. Like New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U before that though, the game can be played up to 4 players though, and it can be a fun experience for those who are into that couch co-op kind of experience. So if you're that kind of a person though, then you'll definitely enjoy the 4-player co-op in this game though. As far as I'm aware of, I think the only 4-player co-op that I know of is basically, I mean the only part I know of is that I think one player is Kirby and the others are the different enemies that Kirby can befriend though. I believe it's also drop in, drop out, so that's very nice though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to the cons, what I have with Kirby Star Allies. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video review of Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch. I forgot to mention this in the beginning. If you are interested in any of the gameplay footage though, I'll have a link in the description and you can check that out as well. So now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And so as far as the cons go, I can really only think of basically 2 that can pop up, okay? The first one is about the 4-player co-op. As I mentioned before, the 4-player co-op can be fun in the game though, but at the same time, it can get a little chaotic though. I mean, there may be times when you're in battles and all that stuff that Sometimes it might be difficult to spot your character because there's so much things going on in the screen, especially if you're playing this, you know, if your Switch is in portable mode and you have, you know, either you're using the single Joy-Cons or Pro Controllers or whatever. It can be a little chaotic though, and that might be an issue for some people. And there's also the fact that unless the other players are on the same playing field as you are, you may end up helping them more than you should have. And that has happened before. Though. But again, some people can handle it. Some people can't. So it is worth pointing out that things can, when playing as 4-player co-op, the things can be a little bit chaotic though. Again, some will have an issue with this, some won't in any way. And last but not least, it is worth pointing out that the game unfortunately runs at 30 frames per second, which, again, not terrible. I mean, 30 frames per second isn't necessarily bad when it's stable, but I will admit, though, it would have been nice to see this game run at 60 frames per second. Maybe it's just me, but when you get to sort of the end of the stage, though, and do, like, the bonus round, that seems to somehow run at least as far as I'm aware of, I could be wrong on this, but that somehow seems to run at a 60 frames per second, which seems a little bit weird for a game, for that though. That the main game is 30 frames per second, but like that bonus room area near the end of the level though, looks like it runs at 60 frames per second though. So either way, running at 30 frames per second isn't necessarily bad though, but it would have been nice if the game overall ran at 60 frames per second. I will admit to that though. Overall, Kirby Star Allies, it's still a good game though. I'm not the biggest Kirby fan out there or anything like that, but I did enjoy the game. And while it starts off a little bit easy, things start to pick up and things can get a little bit tough. However, but to me, I kind of like that. It adds a bit of a challenge and all that stuff. So I may not be the hugest Kirby fan out there, but I am enjoying the game so far, and it is worth trying out if you're a big Kirby fan and all that stuff. I know it's not as big as, say, like Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild is, but to me, it's still an enjoyable game nevertheless, and it is one worth trying, especially if you're a long-time Kirby fan though and looking to play the first Kirby game on the Nintendo Switch. Here's to hoping we'll see many more Kirby games on the Nintendo Switch down the road at some point as well. Okay, this concludes my video review of Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the game? Have you picked it up yet? Have you played it? Have you enjoyed it? Have you not enjoyed it? Do you think it's great that they added 4-player co-op, or do you think that makes things a little bit too chaotic? Do you have an issue with the fact that the game's running at 30 frames per second, or is that a non-issue for you at all? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. Excuse me. You could do it through PayPal Me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good evening then. Bye!